Today we're going to tie a fly called a puff daddy. Now this was invented by one of the fellows up at South Holston Fly Shop. It's a great fly, and they have a great video on how to tie it using a CDC feather that's palmered around the hook. I find that works great for 14s, but I don't have the talent on anything smaller than that to be able to find the right CDC feather to be able to palmer without building it up too much where it doesn't have a natural silhouette. So what I'll show you right here is a different way to make it, very quick way to make it. You can make these in a minute or 2 minutes a piece if you have your materials ready. Extremely great fish catchers, as I'll probably say again later in the video. I tie that on sulfurs from 14 to 18 to 20, and I tie at BWOs from 18 to 22. And in fact, I had a great day on the Elk River in West Virginia a couple days ago around the 18th of August on the big browns and rainbows there on a size 24 puff daddy. Looks real to them. A little bit of current makes it skate like it's alive, and they really do some slashing strikes. If you want a theory, I think they think it might be a partial cripple that's having a little hard time getting out of the surface film, and that puffy wing might look like the fluttering wings of that insect. But whatever it is, it works, and it works real well. So now we'll get on with tying it. First step is I take my hook, in this case a size 16 dry fly hook, thin wire, and I crush the barb. I always do that, just saves the fish's mouth and lets me get the fly out of the fish's mouth without breaking it off the fly. I'm using, in this case, I'll put it up here, you can see it's Vivus 16-0, and it is in a light yellow color, A12. Again, use it to match whatever your natural is. Go ahead and start it normally. Get back to the rear of the hook for the 16. At that point, I'll go ahead and cut my thread off. Now I'll build the tapered body. The dubbing I'm using here is the fine and dry yellows and olives dubbing from Spirit River, sulfur yellow. Sulfur is one of the strangest dubbing colors that I know of, and I say that in that I see must be 2 or 3 dozen different colors for sulfur yellow, from a very pale yellow to a very orangish yellow. What I've done is I've bought most of them, and then I just match those to the color of the naturals I catch on the stream. I never go in the stream without a stomach pump and a small net to catch those, and I can mimic them. This color right here, as I wrap it up and make a tapered body, don't have to be too fancied, but those sulfurs do have a fairly tapered body. Get this up, get it tight right there, and I'll stop right there. Now what I'll do is I'll put the wing on, and I'll be using Trout Hunter. See it right there, and this is, if I can get in there, Natural Dark Dun. I like Natural Dark Dun because after you have applied your frog's fanny to it, you'll find that it looks very much like the light dun wing on the natural. Now I'll demonstrate 2 ways of putting the wing on the fly, both of these different than the method shown in the South Holston's video on making the puff daddy. Their method for me works well on a size 14 or larger, but I find it very difficult to find the right CDC feather to be able to tie it on a 16 or smaller and not have the stem create too much bulk. So here are the 2 methods. One is you simply take the right amount of feathers. In this case, you'll see about that much of a feather. I'll get a couple of those, put them together. Even the ends up, because I'm going to be trimming it anyway. Lay it on there and just wrap it on like that. The other way that I'm going to show, which works just as well, is to take this feather and to take your fingers and strip the CDC off the side. I'll go ahead and do that and then show you how it looks. Okay, this is how that looks when you finish. There's the front end of the stems and the back end. Again, you're going to trim this off, and so you won't have to worry too much about the little shaft that comes off with the front. So I'll take that, trim that off at a slight angle. And by the way, either way is acceptable of doing this. I just like to use as much of the feather as I can. So sometimes I'll just use the tips for one fly and then pull off the side for the next. Bind that down. That's simple enough. I'll come back here to the length, almost to the hook bend, cut that off. Now, as most of you know who've actually captured a sulfur on the stream, many times the abdomen is slightly darker or a different color than the thorax. So in this case, I'm going to take a little bit more of an orange dubbing to complete the thorax and the head on this fly. Put it on a regular dubbing loop. Just come up and wrap and build up nice dubbing. Next, I'll find my whip finisher, put a whip finish off and trim off that errant. And that's the fly. As stated in my introduction, this is probably the most effective, easiest fly to tie that I have ever seen. It works. For me, I've tied it in several different varieties of insects of the mayfly family, and what I like best about it is it skates on the surface pretty much like a cripple trying to get off and dry its wings. So a little bit of drag on it where it makes a normal dry fly look unnatural. This actually makes it actually skates and looks natural. So it's an easy tie. You can tie one of these a minute if you have your materials ready. They're as effective as anything that I have seen. I've tied them down to size 24 and generally tie them 20-22 for BWOs, maybe 18s, and from 20 to down to 14 for the sulfurs. So if you have any questions, go ahead and send them. Otherwise, get out and tie it. An easy tie. It works well. And I'll finish up in a minute with the final frame, showing you what the wing looks like after it's been frog's fannied. And this is the fly after the frog's fanny's been applied. You'll see that that natural dark dun has lightened up a lot. Looks like a very nice light dun color. That frog's fanny make this thing float and skate better than you can possibly imagine. Great fly. Go ahead and give it a try.